lives matter? Why does every other rapper rap about straps aimed at a black man, if not a Latin factor? Brainwashed, lost, the Panther's a screen actor. No solidarity, those with the same skin sacrificed after a gunshot. Your 15 minutes was escaping the trap by telling them to stay in it. Cowardice, oblivious idiocy. You're giving impressionable kids bids on both victimizer and victim. They'll spit the same shit or be dumb enough to act out that vision. Thanks, you made a shitty situation worse by spreading division. Empty goals, shiny shit, culturally cheapened women. No one to look up to because your songs have nothing to mention. I know what you'll say before you say it, so why listen? A culture with charlatans and athletes as heroes. Who's a linchpin? How many artists have glorified violence in their position to be a leader for black kids or demonstrated indifference? The shit is so bad, I'm convinced it's racist. It's inadvertent minstrels, accidental black faces, Masses Apple, Billboard's Babylon. They're still raping your race, face it. And white people don't care because they don't know what you're saying. Just want a fire beat to look cool stepping out mom's basement. And while 1% escapes, the rest are poisoned because the DJ's playing your song. Another trap of indoctrination. All the little young babies, that's blackface. Future and Drake, yeah, that's blackface. Jay-Z, Beyonce, that's blackface. If they glorify the streets, then it's blackface. Why do I have to tell you it's blackface? Would love to say nothing, but there's blackface. Billboard charts for 30 years have been blackface. Kids saying when I grow up, I'll be blackface. If you believe a child's complexion and intelligence is connected, then cut my song off this very second. This isn't for racist collectives, it's a pursuit of truth through deception. And with that said, let me ask you a question. If music's communication, then in rap, what's the message? That poor school systems are the best for coolness lessons? That trauma throughout childhood shouldn't be corrected, but aspired towards mass broadcasted and protected? That the man every man should be is manifested through poverty, rotting seeds, opportunities neglected. Deprive everyone in your way to get ahead, man. Kill anyone in your shoes. The world's for you, not the next kid. You disempowered your own community to be respected, your own people. You sheep, you coward, you infection. Me sell druggies, pew-pew oppies, got mommy sexin'. My shinies, my vroom-vroom, my money flexin' is not just an example of underdeveloped, it's the current stereotype. The new chicken and watermelon, not just baby talk, it's what's sabotaging the nests. It's white CEOs brainwashing the census, choosing what content and music is present. And you're either too dumb to get it, or you're an Uncle Tom selling out future for present. Don't white savior me, this is a human that mentioned dehumanization of his fellow humans. Fix your lenses. If you won't change your content, you're undermining efforts to breed progress, growth, and betterment for all of the desperate communities. If that's okay, I hope you get AIDS, sepsis, and never get another chance to create a new record. Your top 5 lists, probably blackface. Poverty's child abuse, that's blackface. Half-conscious rappers' songs are blackface. Yeah, you're talented, but that's still blackface. Most of the white rappers out are blackface. Would you listen if I was black saying it's blackface? Judge me worse while you're indifferent to blackface. If I didn't mention you, you're probably still blackface. The sins of a white nation usurped from natives that after enslavement carried on segregation for generations. If you're black, you probably grew up with neighbors all the same races, same schools, churches, same places. Or you're one of the few outliers in a sea of whites, and since so much of their Caucasian life is spent left beside blacks in communities and schools, they're awkward around you. And that's generally true, even if they're nice. In both contexts, you're contrasted by complexion, plus the intersection where you have to deal with whites is measured, often as types whose efforts are exploit and antagonize police, landlords, banks, teachers that ride school to prison pipelines. The sense is these aren't your people. Their connections feel either hostile or see-through. Blacks feel like you're kind, you belong with it, binds reflexively. You meet your race with solidarity, the design of a shared narrative of alienation. But at times, showing allegiance carries predetermined standards defined. The implications, never discussed. So while it makes sense for me to arrive with hippie culture in my mindset, you're discouraged from exposing yourself to that white shit. In fact, it feels like the assignment is to jibe with only black cultural landmarks, and this bias creates an insular culture where you won't have a stake in older, historical figures of other races. What if most of the contributions made in modern philosophy came from white men like Nietzsche, Schopenhauer? Will you optimize your framework for thoughts or refrain as an option to remain in touch with black? Meanwhile, for myself, I can say, historical black figures inspire me all the same. As any inhumanity, I'm connected to every page. See, this disconnect to white shit makes you rely on black ways as cultural dictum. Now regarding its likeness, you take less critical positions. When the only people you belong to in life listen to songs that craft visions of black violence, you defend it. More so, you embrace it, rationalize it, stories of perseverance, vengeance, survival, but the price arrives in you steering blacks to frame their decisions in kind. So now instead of forgiving transgressions or deciding rap's depictions are high-risk, low-reward alignments, they fantasize about being real, short-selling environment. Identity too. It's not just blacks, any group would have done the same in their shoes. Kids already follow what's cool based on industry rules, dressing and acting out different themes through every decade, but in this case, the stakes grew. The machine wants to exploit blacks as grunt worker and goon, the criminal we have to fund a drug war to consume. They couldn't sabotage whites the same way to imprisonment and menial labor. That'd affect public favor, but you isolated blacks stereotyped for deviant views flavored in slang, keeping discomforts intact, face abuse that can't be outvoted as long as rap controls black youth. With messages to destroy yourself, you'll always remain a tool. But you're my people. All humanity deserves justice. I love you. You're my brother. Don't let them make you a puppet.